Hello and welcome to the first video in this series on how to set up your own web server. In this series we are going to learn how to use Ubuntu server installed within VirtualBox, I'm sorry. And you want to start with downloading VirtualBox. On Windows or Mac you can download it from virtualbox.org. If you're on Ubuntu like I am, you get it from Ubuntu Software Center, or you may do it from terminal with sudo apt-get install virtualbox. And as you can see, I already have it installed. And next thing you want to do is to download the Ubuntu server we are going to use, and make sure to download the version that fits your processor. In my case 64-bit, and the new VirtualBox release supports this as well. Once you have downloaded those two and installed the VirtualBox, you want to add a new virtual machine. Give it a name. We will call this first one a template, because we are later going to clone or copy this VM. And so make sure that for every new server we are making, we don't have to install it all over again. And you want to create a new hard disk file for this one, and use VDI, VirtualBox disk image. It's okay. Dynamically allocated will allow us to expand the file, the disk space for it, and it won't take up more space on your hard drive than it needs. And 8 gigabytes of storage will be sufficient, even though it won't use all this. And then we do create, and we have a new machine on our inside our machine. Then we are going to start it up. The first run wizard will show and help us to choose installation media, which is the Ubuntu server we just downloaded. And as you can see, it boots nicely on our disk image. First you will have to choose your language. I will do English as well. Then territory. And you will have to choose a keyboard layout that fits your keyboard. I will use a Norwegian keyboard and choose that one. And as this installs, I will pause the recording and come back to you later. The first thing it's gonna ask for is a host name for the new machine. I'll call this one template as well. And then you will need to create a new user. I will for Joachim, which is my name, and then a password. And I don't want to encrypt my home directory. And it guesses my time zone. Is correct. And it will ask how you're gonna partitionate your hard disk. We'll just use guided and set up a logical volume manager, which will make it easier to expand and shrink your partition. And we want to use the whole disk, which is what you can say how much you want to. Either you can do 20% as it says, or 50 if you like, and max is also a option. And then it makes a summary of all the partitions it will make. It's making a root partition, a swap partition, and asks if you want to write the changes to disks. And you guessed it, you want to do that. The next thing it's gonna ask for is proxy. If you have it, you need to put in the details here if you want to download updates while installing. I have none, and it will be fine. And it will ask how you want to do updates, if you want to do automatic security updates or not. I will go with install security updates automatically. In this screen you may choose to install server software right ahead. You may choose to install OpenSSH, DNS, LAMP, and other neat things, but we are going to install this later. I am at least, so that I can make videos about the full installation and configuration of these servers. And it's gonna ask if you want to install a grub to the bootloader or not. We're just gonna do it, won't hurt. And after that your installation is complete, and we will reboot and see if it's working. And you will log in with the details you chose under the installation. And we are able to log in. However, if you can see the IP address, it's 10.02.15, which is an internal, well, it's not an IP address on my LAN, so we need to change the network settings for the virtual machine in VirtualBox. You go template settings, network, and the adapter one, the only one I got in my computer, and we choose bridged adapter. And okay, this will allow the virtual box to use the network card in my computer, and the template server is gonna get an IP on I'm sorry, it's gonna get an IP address on my local network. And when we reboot and log in again, we may we can see that it has a new IP address, 192.168.1.0. 165. The last thing we are gonna do is to update our machine. We go sudo apt get make sure to type everything wrong, and then sudo apt get upgrade. And yes, I want to install those updates. And then you got a fresh install of Ubuntu server. The first thing, if you're not familiar with Ubuntu, is sudo apt-get update and then sudo apt-get upgrade to install the updates. This is what I got for this video. In the next one we are gonna look on how to clone the template we just made, and then we are gonna install LAMP server on the new clone we are gonna make, which is the actual web server. Until then,